Welcome to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by Scooters Plus on Summer Avenue. Now, here's your host, Johnny Radio himself, John Harden.
When you hear the sound of coming, hear the drums drumming, I want you to join together with the band. We don't move in any particular directions, and we don't make no collections. I want you to join together with the band.
That's got to be disappointing to hear John Harden introduced and then hear my voice, is it not?
John Harden.
I guess, technically, though, you would hear my voice anyway.
That's a good point.
You know whose voice they would normally hear during this hour?
Yours truly.
No, I'm just joking. But, no, John is on vacation this week. He's taking a much-deserved rest, and we're here in his stead in the Family Leisure Studios. But he'll be back not till next Monday, I don't think. So,
right.
So he'll be back next Monday. So all week we're here with you. A lot of stuff to get the full weekend in the sports world, including basketball, because the Grizzlies played a preseason game.
They're back,
yesterday.
baby.
They're back, baby. So a lot of stuff to get to today. First of all, though, a lot of ass analysis this week after Peyton Manning on Monday Night Football, right? Did you watch the Manning cast? You don't watch the Manning cast.
I watch it some. I didn't catch it last week.
So last week they were doing push the quarterback in the tuchus.
The little tush push.
Yeah, and so that's what they were talking about. He's like, you got to get one guy's got to get a hand on the right butt cheek, another guy gets a hand on the left butt cheek, and they shove him. And then
one goes up the middle.
Ever since then, it just opened the door for ass analysis. We've broken the ass barrier.
Wow.
Analysis.
How
about that? That would be, if I had my bell, that's when I would bring it right there. We've truly broken. I was seen in every game I watched. NFL, college. You know what else? WWE Fastlane. They had ass analysis this weekend.
Wow.
How about that? So it's just we've broken the barrier. Like breaking the sound barrier when you go really fast. We've broken the ass barrier, Bryant.
Wow. We had a butt game on Saturday. Baylor played Texas Tech. BUTT.
Oh, I see. I did not see.
If you line the logos up next to each other.
See, as a proud alum of the Texas Tech University, I never consider it that. It's just far too important of a game for me to put it in those terms. But also, we had something happen on Saturday, I guess at 7 o'clock, the same time as that other game, right?
Maybe. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
7 o'clock game? 7 o'clock game?
7 o'clock game.
You know what I'm talking
There
about?
were a lot of 7 o'clock games.
There was a big one, and it's been reverberating.
Oh, the U.
The U.
The U is not back. How about that?
It's been reverberating everywhere since then. Very sad game for the University of Miami. They lost.
What a joke. Mario Cristobal, please.
Right, let's pump the brakes for a second. We're going to get there.
Okay.
Let me set the
That's
scene.
just how everyone else has done it, talking about this game.
Let me set the scene first. I like that you're on the ball, though. You're on the ball so far. So the first thing I have to talk about in terms of what happened with the Miami game is so they were undefeated coming into this game, have high hopes. They go to North Carolina this week. So, it's basically get through this game and you have, a bulk of your ACC schedule coming up, right? Undefeated, national championship, the playoff aspirations. They're probably not playoff good, but, if you win enough games, you're going to be in the conversation at the end of the day. And that's what they were hoping for. Unfortunately, those hopes were dashed on that 7 o'clock game against Georgia Tech. Mario Cristobal decided with 30 seconds left?
Yep.
So you could have kneeled the ball. It was third down. Mm-hmm. They had 1 yard to go.
Georgia Tech had 0 timeouts.
No timeouts. And Miami had 1.
Mm-hmm.
They had 1 yard to go to get a first down. And Mario Cristobal, rather than taking a knee and ending the game, decided to hand it off.
Yep.
And Tim Hasselback is doing the game. He's in the booth, and he is just incensed. He's like, what's going on here? Can't they kneel? And
Yeah.
he's just very confused as to what's happening. They decide to hand the ball off. And what happened, Bryant?
He fumbled.
Ball! He fumbled. This is not the first time Mario Cristobal has done that.
No.
When was the other time?
When he was at Oregon.
When he was
what
at
was
Oregon.
it, 2018 against Stanford?
Sure
right?
was.
Yeah.
And lost that game as well. So it's not the first time he does it. He did it at Oregon. He's doing it again. Cut to the sideline. Cameras go to the sideline. players are crying on the sideline. In fact, their best offensive player, his name escapes me because he's an offensive lineman. Who cares about the guy's names? But he's the best offensive player on the team. I mean, he's truly the biggest jump in Tyler Van Dyke's performance, which he had 3 picks in the game.
Yikes.
But his performance last year, which was down a lot
Doing
from his
best
first
Dak
year
Prescott impression.
to this year, has been the improved offensive line. And this gentleman on the sideline that was crying, whose name escapes me at the moment,
He's the big reason.
he is a huge reason why. And he's just over there crying like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing?
That's what he mouthed that. What are we doing?
What are we doing? And there's fans and the player. I mean, the parents of players in the stands, just like, what is going on here? People were crying, literally in tears. People were crying all over the place. It's unbelievable, and it was unbelievable for a bunch of different reasons. People were saying he should be fired. You know what, Bryant? Not harsh enough.
Oh.
I say complete banishment.
Wow.
He should be forced to fend for himself on an island somewhere, perhaps in Fiji.
Okay.
You know, maybe you live on fruit, or make him compete in these competitions for survival.
Ooh.
These are competitions that test your endurance and maybe your brain power, like a puzzle, perhaps. You know, you get things like a flint if you do well in the competitions to start a fire.
Right.
You get drinking water as a prize. Maybe like fishing gear so you can go fishing to get like meat and like sustenance in that way too. Jeff Probst could be the host, perhaps.
Okay.
You think about this?
Sure.
See, this is the show Survivor, Brian. I
Yeah.
can tell that. Oh, you were with me on it.
with you.
Excellent.
Also sound like the Hunger Games, which I'm now starting to realize might have been inspired by Survivor.
How about a reality show called Surviving Cristobal?
Ooh.
How about that? And it goes back. So it takes place this after he's fired this off season, and like he's on the island doing the Survivor challenges, and then they have to sit in front of the camera and like spill their guts or whatever.
Sure.
So he like reflects on his time and what he put those poor kids
His
through.
decisions.
And so like as he's struggling, then you go back and see how he made those people struggle, and it just goes back and forth. So Surviving Cristobal, a little play on words to go both ways. That's all a joke, of course, because a bunch of different things that in terms of factual information, that's the all fun and games portion of the proceedings. Do you have any? You already fired him. Do you want to continue with the firing?
No, I mean I was just fine at firing him. I mean
Everyone's firing him.
Yes. So that's not good enough.
Lost in the translation of all of this, though, is a couple of things. First of all, we just mentioned Mario. This happened to him in Oregon. He hasn't knelt all season. They don't kneel.
Interesting.
It harkens back to a time like that used to be strategy. You know.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Coaches in like I don't know how 50 years ago I suppose it was. They didn't kneel. That wasn't part of the scheme of football. In fact, it was seemed as a sign of like weakness. Like the Miracle in the Meadowlands happened because they would kneel to football.
Right.
Because you don't kneel. We're not kneeling. We're playing football here. Why are you kneeling? We're not kneeling. We're playing football. And that's like Mario Cristobal's like macho demeanor and stuff like that. And it's stupid, right? I mean, it's
stupid.
It's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
But you also can't fire the guy because he does meet the baseline of what you need to compete for a championship, which is recruiting.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he does that at a high level. The coaches before him at Miami were not recruiting anything at all, not even close to the way he's recruiting there. And so if what comes with that is a little bit of stupidity and like macho behavior, so be it. I mean, like Urban Meyer was a college football coach that won multiple national championships, and he showed us as a coach in the NFL and actual football league how terrible he was at his job. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a good coach. I understand it worked in college, but that speaks to why Mario can keep his job after something like that.
That's true.
Because he covers the baseline of recruiting, which is how you make ends meet in college football. It really doesn't have to do with football
they had a ton
schematics
of
that
recruits
much.
at that game on Saturday. I mean,
It's
it was
a
like a
shame.
whole section.
It's a shame.
It's
It's a shame who was at that game, too. But how about this? Nobody is caring that. Did you see the replay of the play? Did you see the play live?
He was down.
Yeah, he didn't fumble. But that's what's so interesting about all of this, and I love it. I truly love it, is in no time in my memory, at least, have I ever seen a play so definitively wrong.
Yeah.
And the discourse afterwards isn't, oh, these damn refs, they're cheating us again. These damn refs took the game away from us. What are they doing? Why would you call such a stupid play and put it in the hands where something like that could happen? Like, and that's the way the discourse. I mean, I don't love criticizing the coaches all the time, but at the same day, at least it's not going to the refs. It's like we should have done something differently,
they
should have done something differently.
Do you think it's because it's Miami? Like if this was like
well, the Miami fan base is doing it. Like I'm not saying the national discourse. I'm saying this is what the fan base of Miami, because the national discourse. I mean, no one even knows he didn't fumble.
Right.
No one even knows nor cares that he was down. It hasn't even been. I watched Scott Van Pelt this last night. I watched SportsCenter Sunday morning. It wasn't even mentioned that he was down.
Interesting.
They didn't even hint that he might have been
down. This might have been a bad call.
Wasn't even brought up. But I love that. I mean, I love that at the same time though.
Right.
I don't love that like all this harsh
because
criticism.
you don't like the crutch that is always with like fandom of blame the refs.
Always.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, I mean, here's an example. I was at the Grizzlies game last night.
Oh, what a game that was.
Humble brag. But I was at the Grizzlies.
One of the, 400 people that were there?
You know, it wasn't a lot, but that's...
But it was...
I tell you what, that's my vibe, though.
Let me tell you something,
Let's
though.
relax, sit down, and watch the game.
Look, I was watching that game last night. I wanted to be there, and it got loud. And when they got to overtime late in the fourth quarter, even though it was not nearly halfway full, man, it was loud in there.
Yeah, it really was loud in there, and guys were diving on the floor too. But that's an aside, because there were certain points, like at one point, like Jaren fouled dude, and literally was grabbing his arm, and everyone's like, "Boo!" Because
not a foul.
His other hand, he got on the ball, and "Boo! What is this? He's fouled!"
Right.
And that's generally the discourse we get in sports is like, "These refs, they're cheating us again." But for something like this to happen, that really shifted the moment. Not even shifted the moment. It was the end of the game.
Sure.
Well, sorry, they still had to score that last touchdown and a horrible breakdown.
Man, what a throw!
Horrible breakdown by the defense.
It was. He was
Dude,
wide
on
open.
back-to-back plays, truly. That is what's crazy. Which is another thing you should say is it's not necessarily the fumble that cost you the game because it's not like it was a scoop and score.
They had 20 seconds to go half the field with no timeouts. I mean, defensive breakdown.
Literally a complete breakdown.
Yeah.
Literally complete breakdown. And so much so I was in the car at the very end of this game as it was happening. I went back and watched it after the fact just so everybody knows that I'm a journalist. You know, I saw it. Don't worry, I saw it. But I was listening to it, and as I'm flipping through the channels after this game has gone final, every, on the Sirius XM,
sure.
Every channel, they have that chunk of 40 sports channels. Every channel is talking about Miami.
The U.
I went to the baseball channel.
Oh.
Talking about Miami.
You're kidding.
I swear. Talking about what Mario Cristobal just did. You could not get to a channel.
Sorry we have the playoffs going on right now, but Miami just lost in the worst way possible.
I found Conan's new radio channel on there where they do all the Conan O'Brien podcasts and live shows and stuff like that. Conan's talking about Miami.
Making jokes about Miami.
No, that was all recorded. That's not true. But literally, you know where else? I just mentioned they were talking about WWE Fastlane, the pay-per-view this weekend. You know what they brought up? They made reference to Miami.
You're kidding.
In between Pizza Hut commercials and all this sponsored crap content, they're talking about
hey, Miami didn't kneel the ball.
They're talking about the lack of the kneel by University of Miami. They talked about it on an NFL broadcast yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I heard it all over the place on NFL broadcast.
On pre-game shows yesterday. Jeez. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's one of the most monumental moments. I mean, I guess it was when it happened at Oregon, too, but maybe a little bit less so.
Well, in Oregon, I mean, who knows? That game probably was on Pac-12 Network, so nobody watched it. Yeah.
Great point by you.
So this is Miami, baby. I mean, everyone's watching Miami.
And they were undefeated at this point in time. I don't know if Oregon was undefeated at that time or not.
He was back to some people.
I don't know if they were. Because I was listening, as I listened yesterday and read disgruntled fans that have lost their minds on the internet, they were even very level-headed and have been for the past few weeks too. Obviously there's some fans that are like, we're winning it all, we're undefeated, we just go undefeated, we'll be in the national championship. I think a lot of Miami fans were like, this team does not have the talent necessary yet.
I don't get fans like that. The fans that just, parade around and say their team's unbelievable and that they're going to win every game, it's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I may or may not have done that on Friday with the Cowboys. But they should have won that game last night, just saying.
And then freaked out when they played the Cardinals because they're supposed to win every game. They're
what's going on?
They're better than the Cardinals.
But that's an aside.
They're better than them.
I'll start crying if we talk about the Cowboys.
Josh Dobbs playing good football right now, though,
sure
too.
Is.
But, man, I thought that was so interesting. And I think the most interesting part, well, first of all, I think much needed context in that it's not like he didn't have. Is it better or worse that him and his entire staff knew that they could fumble in the game, but it is a conscious decision they made all year not to? Better or worse?
Worse.
You think?
I think so.
Because a lot of the discourse is also that how could they not know? How did no one know?
No, they definitely know the
No,
consequences.
They all knew.
Yeah.
They all knew that's a conscious decision they make every week, week in and week out, to not kneel the football. I mean, if you go back and watch each game. And listen, listen to the Miami broadcast after the game. Joe Zagacki, he's at the 40, he's at the 30.
Oh, no.
And that was not Joe Zagacki impression. And the Duke, Cornelder to the touchdown, Tennessee product.
Yeah.
Joe Zagacki talking after the game. He's sitting there doing the broadcast, and he's like, I think they could have knelt it. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if they could have knelt it. And they send it to some corporate, sponsor, something in another studio or whatever, and then they come on back, and he goes, yes, it has been confirmed to me. Miami could have knelt the football and iced the game away. And then, someone inevitably says, well, that's not who they are. That's not who they are. But you know what the funniest part about the entire radio broadcast was? Is after Joe Zagacki goes, I think they could have knelt it. Yes, they definitely could have knelt it. We will be right back in corporate sponsor studio right after this break. And the first commercial is a public service announcement. Have you thought about suicide recently?
Everybody listening.
What a horror.
Or timing.
Or great timing.
But maybe.
I don't know if it's good or bad.
Save a life. There's a
saved
producer in there like, we got to play this one right now.
They saved somebody's life.
That's
I tell
great.
you what. Oh, man.
I saw this morning. Miami hasn't won a home conference game under Cristobal.
Is that right?
That's what I saw this morning. Supposedly it's in a story in The Athletic this morning that Miami, this is from, what's today? Yeah, this is posted yesterday.
Wow.
And let me see if I can find the exact quote. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find. No. Oh, yeah. Miami hasn't won an ACC home game yet under Cristobal. They're 0-5 in league play at Hard Rock Stadium since school administrators signed the coach to a 10-year, $80 million deal in December 2021.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's insane.
But explainable.
Very. I mean, it's only 5 games.
And this is also the first year.
Yeah. I mean, last year was a mess.
No, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And like a ton of guys left, and they were super young at every position and inexperienced at every position. And you're finally starting to see some growth this year, like starting undefeated to this point. And furthermore, I do think the market, in terms of betting markets, are overreacting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, tough situation there. Crazy sequence at the end of that game. I mean, you can't explain that away at all. But at the same time, Miami isn't that bad.
No.
Now, is there these are college kids. What if everything breaks down at this point? It could, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's not like these are professionals
these
that
are
easily
18 to 24-year-olds.
Easily, and it's already a
27 if you're talking about the Tigers with DeAndre.
It's already a very young team, too, though. You know what I mean? And so that's a factor as well.
But I mean, what you said about like last year, you're starting to see that around the country with the transfer portal and like the way coaches leave and stuff like that. Like same thing at Oklahoma. Like Oklahoma was bad last year, and everyone wanted to make fun of their defense. And now, I mean, year 2, they're looking much better. Year 2 under Cristobal, Miami's looking better. So I think we might have to start changing how we look at coaching changes and stuff. You can't judge them in year 1. Got to start judging them in year 2.
So how about this? Miami played a good football season so far. Yeah. Terrible loss against Georgia Tech, right? But
heck of a win for Georgia Tech. Nobody's talking about it on the other side. What a win for what's their coach name? Brent Key. Oh, I think this is his first year interim head coach last year. What a win for him and his program.
But beat A&M at home, which is big time.
Oh yeah, big time.
Temple's not very good, but they went on the road and beat the crap out of Temple 41-7. Then Bethune-Cookman will throw that one out the window. Sure. I can't remember who week 1 was against, but it was someone.
Who was week 1 against? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Nonetheless. Oh, Miami of Ohio.
Oh, and now it's come back to bite them.
What? How so?
Because Miami, Ohio beat Bowling Green. Bowling Green beat Georgia Tech.
Last
and
week.
Now Georgia Tech beat Miami.
So, but North Carolina this week, North Carolina top 15 team in the country.
And playing, I mean, despite the loss to Alabama, I mean, that's still a good team, Texas A&M.
Yeah, very much so. But they're playing North Carolina next week at North Carolina. That line opened at plus 3.5.
Wow.
For Miami, I mean. Miami's plus 3.5. North Carolina's a 3.5 point favorite at home. Tell you what, man. I know it's only Monday and we have all week to bet on these games. I kind of like Miami in this one, man.
On the road.
I mean, I don't know the analysis, but let me find
North Carolina just got their star receiver back.
If you filibuster for a moment, I'll find what I read earlier that's telling me to take Miami.
I mean,
Tell me why North Carolina's. Here we go. There's +4s out there. You can grab those. Here's what people will say. How can you bet on Miami after Mario Cristobal refused to take a knee and win the game and then choked it away?
Well, if that's going to be the analysis all week.
Well, I'm going to guess we're going to overreact to how much that affects the team going forward. Miami had a good start to the season, and I don't think they're just going to throw it all away because of one fluky game and one fluky situation and a ridiculous ending. Miami dominated last week, and I think the Hurricanes should be no more than a field goal underdog in Chapel Hill this weekend. The worst line to take this game at is +3. Ain't no way people are going to move this line down from 3.5.
No, it's going to move the opposite direction.
If you get it more than 3, this might be, here we go. The model that I'm reading here, this is courtesy of Athletic. The model, Athletic has models. I've been reading NHL previews all week.
Oh, and they got models.
They all have models. And it's a great crutch for a publication to have.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you get upset with something someone says, their defense is, it was the model.
It wasn't us. Our model
It was just the model.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't say anything. It's just the model. Model predicts North Carolina 28.5 points, Miami 27 points.
Oh, wow. So 1.5 point difference.
Yeah, but which is impossible when you actually play the game. But, I mean, these two teams are close. It's a competitive ACC game. Miami, I'm sure, still has aspirations of making to an ACC championship.
Oh, sure.
You need to win this football game if you're going to do so, especially after losing to Georgia Tech. But as long as you win tiebreakers against the rest of the teams, that Georgia Tech game doesn't really bother you. You could also say, in terms of making a narrative, that they lost that game because they were looking ahead to North Carolina. Yeah. And here's the last thing before we get a break here. We got to take a break and talk to Terry Davis on the other side. Joe Zagacki said at the end of the game, he goes, "The thing you can't do is let Georgia Tech beat you twice," meaning that if they lose to North Carolina next week. Georgia Tech on a bye, too, so the rare opportunity, Georgia Tech could get a win on a bye. More on that later. Terry Davis after this.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
What do you get when you have a dream, a beer, and a business plan? Meddlesome Brewing. Meddlesome's classic ales and lagers capture the true Memphis spirit. Strong, tenacious, and unforgettable. Meddlesome captures true Memphis spirit as well with community events including Ska-toberfest, Saturday, October 14th, with plenty of bands and plenty of brews like Memphis Style and 201 Hopler. Meddlesome Brewing on Trinity in Cordova, just east of Shelby Farms. On tap and can packages. Meddlesome Brewing. Never settle, always metal.
Of course, 117 Prime, Memphis' premier downtown dining destination, has hands down the best steaks in Memphis, and the selection of other entrees rivals any restaurant in town. But let's just take a second to talk about appetizers, the beginning of every great meal. 117 Prime offers perfectly sliced Mishima Wagyu beef carpaccio, lobster salad with cold water lobster knuckle, mussels in red curry. Mouthwatering yet? All these wonders are there to start your meal at 117 Prime. Imagine where it will go from there.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. From Las Vegas, it's Week 5 of the NFL season, ending with the matchup of two proud franchises looking for a spark. It's the 1-3 Raiders hosting Jordan Love and the 2-2 Green Bay Packers. Join me and Mike Golick from Las Vegas for all the action of the Packers and the Raiders on Monday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Now I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by Scooters Plus on Summer Avenue. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choke. He's so mad.
Terry Davis joining us now. Terry Davis does great work around town with the Tri-State Defender, for one thing. And he was at the Grizzlies game last night. That's where I want to start with him. First of all, Terry, good morning to you. Thank you so much for making the time for us. I know you have a busy day covering the Tigers as well. We'll get to that in a little bit. But first of all, preseason impressions after game one last night. Some good stuff all around, some guys sitting out, but there was a lot of positives you could take from it. What impressed you the most last night from the Grizzlies' overtime win? Good morning.
Good morning, man. I didn't want to do it, but I think Derrick Rose might have a lot left in the tank, at least for the first 25 games, which, might help heal the Big 12 not being there for 25 games. But he actually well playing with those guys, starting, and he was almost like he had missed, and then Marcus didn't play, Smart didn't play. So I think this team's going to be pretty good in the West.
You're right about Derrick Rose, too. He had a pull-up three.
Real good.
He hit a pull-up three at one point that was really nice, too. You're right. He looked really good. Nice floater and right outside the paint, too. He looked really good. That's a super positive thing. I was happy to see him as well, and he seemed to be very grateful. He even mentioned so much. He seemed very grateful to be back in Memphis. What does that mean to you as someone covering sports around the city that Derrick Rose clearly is so grateful to be back here?
Yeah, because, for so many times when Derrick Rose was on the opposing team, he either didn't play or wasn't that. It's almost like he, turned his back on Memphis, but it seems like it's come full circle. He's embracing everything. He wants to be here. He wants to be part of the Grizzlies. He wants to be part of the Tigers. He wants to be, that 2018 to be back remembered. So I think with that and all since Memphis, that's the last time Memphis been to the Final Four, I think that means a lot for not only him, but for the city of Memphis and the Tiger fans.
Yeah, no doubt. He got a great ovation, too. He got to start. I know it meant a lot to me personally. It sounds like it meant a lot to you as well, and I'm sure we're not the only people in the arena last night that it meant a lot to. It was great to see and just so much fun. A real positive environment last night in the forum as well, which is a lot of fun. All right, so those are positives. If anything, I know it's just one preseason game. What concerned you the most about the team that maybe sprung up while you were watching the game? Or maybe there's a concern that you've had all off season that's led up and maybe it was solidified in the game last night, or there's still questions to be answered. Was there anything that concerned you at all last night after watching that game?
After watching that game, I have the same concern I had at the end of the game. Who's going to rebound if Steven Adams is not going to be able to make it? Because when he goes out, there's a big hole in the rebounding presence, because when he's there, he opens up now for him rebounding. He helps other people rebounding. So that's the biggest problem there. Who's going to step up and be rebounding in place of Steven Adams if he's not there? Because if he goes out again, I think we're going to have a great regular season, but it won't work in the playoffs. So he's the key to Memphis going to Western Conference Final. Which is hard to believe when he came here 2 years ago. Steven Adams, it's a crucial piece.
I think you're absolutely right about that, though. I mean, he's such a physical presence, and the top three guys in the MVP voting last year are all big, strong guys like that are going to snatch boards, and Steven Adams can go toe-to-toe with all those guys. I think you're right on. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. Well, Terry, I know a lot of people this offseason, and even between the open practice on Saturday and then in building up to last night's game, have been talking about Zaire and what he can bring to the table this season. What did you think about him last night and in the open practice on Saturday?
I think he's showing flashes of rookie Zaire. But one thing, his biggest problem is, I think it's not his talent. I think what his problem is between the ears. I think he's got to do it consistently, game in and game out. And when things go bad, he's got to be able to push through it and do what he needs to do. He has the talent and ability to do it, but he just needs to maintain that confidence level in doing it. And that's the same thing with Jake LaRavia. He can shoot the ball. I think he can shoot the ball with Luke now, but he got that South Haven confidence. He needs to get that Memphis Grizzlies confidence. Because if he can get that confidence there and they have another outside shooter with Jake, Luke, and Desmond Bain, this team would be unstoppable.
And they all got great. Really, everybody, because it was an overtime game last night, got really good minutes in the game. Guys that started and those bench guys that came in late. It was probably organized a little bit that way, but I'm not sure they expected all those guys on the bench to get 20-plus minutes last night. That was really neat to see. Any concerns put to bed, or I'll maybe word it a different way, what was the biggest thing? What surprised you the most last night from guys maybe on the bench or starters or otherwise?
It surprised me how well that they're, even though this is the first preseason game, that the chemistry level that they have, even with that first unit, because the first unit, they played really well together, and that ending unit, that's pretty much going to be the G League team that's going down there next year. They even had the chemistry, but between the two of those, and I think Gigi might be a little bit better than I expected. I'd expect him to see any minutes on the court this year for the Grizz. He might be able to develop into, a nice little role player and develop into like a second-year Santi, like Santi did 2 years ago.
I agree. Gigi's stat line doesn't look good if you're just like reading the box score today, but he contributed in a way on the court last night. And these guys hustling. I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw all these guys getting on the floor. I know you were watching intently. What did you think about the hustle, not only from the Grizzlies, but the Pacers? There was guys scrapping on the floor last night for loose balls.
I am not a preseason exhibition games. I hate them with a passion, but in that fourth quarter and overtime, that was better than most regular season NBA games. I'm talking about it was back and forth. Those guys neither team wanted to lose. They was out there talking smack to each other, man. It was pretty cool, man. You was there in the building because you could have came down late because all the seats were open because a lot of people up early. It was fun to watch, man. And just hearing the crowd cheer like it's a mid-season game. It was a real fun environment last night.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It really was. It's super positive, too. There's sometimes so much anxiety when you're watching these games. Last night was such a positive environment. It's just a vibe I felt in the arena. It was a great environment to be in. What about their opponent last night? I know it's not even the same conference, the Pacers and the Grizzlies, but what were your impressions of the Pacers last night, if you had any? I mean, they look like a pretty good team in their own right.
Yeah, when you got Rick Carlisle as the coach, he's not going to let you just go through the motions. And, everybody in the world wants Buddy Hield to play for him. So he has some talent, and they just need one or two pieces that they're missing. They've always competitive, but they just don't have the depth like the Memphis Grizzlies have. Memphis Grizzlies has depth. So when someone goes down, they got somebody else, the next man up to go and fill the gap. That's their biggest problem is once they go through their starters and somebody get hurt, it's like a cliff, kind of cliff, and they just lose it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100% too. The bench that the Grizzlies were able to put out there last night, even with guys not playing, and there was guys not playing for the Pacers too, way deeper for the Grizzlies, no doubt about it. And the last thing on the Grizzlies, we got to talk about the Tigers too. It's a huge Tiger basketball media day. I know everyone's super excited about that. And the Tigers have a big football game on Friday we want to talk to you about. But my last question about the Grizzlies is, what are you looking for the most as they go into this Tuesday exhibition against Milwaukee? Is there anything that you're really going to be keeping your eye on?
One thing I want to make sure is one thing they didn't do well on last night was shoot the ball. They were horrendous in shooting. They was able to score, but they weren't able to shoot. So I want them to improve their shooting efficiency. Both Desmond, Luke, and Jake. I want all of them to go out there and shoot a whole lot better this time around because before you know it, it's a regular season, and you don't want to carry that bad trade over into the regular season.
No kidding. 21% definitely leaves a lot to be desired. Bryant, you got some Tiger basketball questions for him?
Yeah, Terry, we got media days today down in Dallas, and a lot of Tigers on these first and second teams. Also, Rookie of the Year, Carl Scherenfant and J.J. Taylor, both named for that. Javon Quinterly on the first team, and then Jordan Brown on the second team for Memphis. When you look at these four guys, especially those two freshmen, when you kind of start talking about playing time and that sort of thing, how big of an impact do you think J.J. Taylor and Carl can make this year?
They're going to make a tremendous impact. And the freshman that's on that list, Ashton Hardaway, if he comes through to shoot the way I think he can shoot, he's going to be on that list also. It just shows you if these guys stay together, this could be a special year for the Tigers. And if they stay healthy, and until the NCAA changes, until the administration changes, this is a lineup going with. I'm not going to worry about Mikey or DeAndre until they are in uniform.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Also, the preseason poll out today, Florida Atlantic first, Tigers right behind them at second.
The Tigers got 2 coaches to vote for him, didn't they? For first
three votes for first place. So what do you make about that? A lot of love coming in for FAU after they made the Final Four, brought most all of their team back. But like Jay Morgan said, 3 votes for the Tigers for first place, trying to defend what they won last year.
It just shows you Memphis pretty much turned their roster over, and FAU, they kept their rosters intact, and Memphis is right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to surprise me if Memphis win the regular season and postseason next year. That's how special I think this team could be.
Wow.
Because this team does not have the animosity, the jealousness, the infighting, the bickering that the team that 2 years ago had with the Money Bait. With that team, last year, God, it feels like it's 2 years ago, but last year, they coming in with that attitude to go out there and play, and they want to win. And I think all these guys saw that, they could have, the team last year easily could have went to the Final Four. If they do what they need to do this year, they all will have a chance to get a couple rings this year.
Well, I'm with you on the optimism too, and it seems like 3 coaches are too for a team that went to the Final Four for teams to be
a lot of veteran guys on this roster.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
For people to be optimistic about the Tigers speaks really highly of them. I'm going to go back to the question I asked you kind of about the Grizzlies a second ago too. Is okay. So we know the positive things. What's a concern that you still have, maybe about the roster construction or about the way they're going to play? Perhaps what's the biggest concern that you still see that you can't wait to see answered once season starts ramping up here?
My biggest question is when the guys don't get the 25, 30 minutes, are they going to be that way come February, come March?
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to stick together? Because there's going to be some times that some good guys are going to be on the bench because you know how Memphis are. You want to shorten the rotation no matter how good they are. But with this rotation they have here with the depth of talent, it's going to be easy for Penny to go 10, 12 guys on the night because, every night somebody's going to be different showing up and showing out. And you're going to need that. Early in the season for those guys to get those minutes for them to come through to a conference play. Because conference play, they don't care who you are. They, when you go to FIU, South Florida, that you're the biggest game in town. They want to beat you. They don't want to beat Florida Atlantic yet because they've been hating Memphis for years, and it's the atmosphere down there. So you're gonna need a person who hadn't shown up to show up for those games, and those games gonna mean a lot because you can't afford to lose too many games in conference because you don't want to be in the same situation you've been in the last 4 or 5 years. Going into the tournament 8 to 9 seed, you want to be a 4 or 5 seed so you can have an easier road to make it the second weekend.
Well, and you're absolutely right about those road conference games. We've seen that the past couple of years going to places like East Carolina and your biggest game in town, and they get you. But Terry Davis with us from the Tri-State Defender. Terry, I got a couple more basketball questions for you before I know we want to get into Tiger football before we let you go. But
I have to ask about his Steelers as well. But that's for later.
Steelers. But Student Madness was last week. Something new the university was trying to do. I know you were there covering it, both men's and women's team. Also, shout out to the women's team. Maddie Griggs on the first team for the conference at Media Day today. But what did you think of Student Madness? Kind of this new look of what they tried to do this year. Did you like it? Did you think it worked? Do you think it's something we could see in the future?
Okay, I liked it for the fact that we were in and out of there within 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
What I didn't like about it, they didn't have the high-profile acts. There was no mystery, the hype wasn't there.
Right.
And I think this team deserves the hype. Big Boogie was okay, but in the past, you always wondered who's going to show up. It was a big-budget Hollywood production. And I think the university, in their effort to save a little money, save a little few pennies, didn't go big. And they didn't go. You could have still went big and not go to the FedEx Forum.
Yeah.
You could have brought a big act in there, or a mysterious act, or had some mystery around it. But I think that's what I didn't like about it. But I love the fact that it was compact. You were in and out in 2 hours. It wasn't extended. It wasn't no whole lot of dead time there.
Yeah, well, and you're right. I mean, I remember that one year you had Little Baby, Future, Young Dolph all there. So, and then the year after that, you had Moneybag. So, I mean, a lot of big names those couple of seasons. Last thing for you on this basketball team, you mentioned DeAndre a couple of minutes ago. We're still waiting for an answer. How do you feel about that decision coming down? I know a lot of people were starting to get negative feelings because of how the NCAA had ruled on other cases, but now in college football, we've seen Tez Walker get his eligibility back. Alan Flanagan, who just transferred to Auburn for this upcoming basketball season, transferred from Auburn to Ole Miss this upcoming basketball season, got eligibility. What do you feel about DeAndre's case right now?
Man, with NCAA, you just don't know because there's no rhyme, reason, or logic to what they do things because I think Dez should have been eligible the first game of the week. That's crazy because football is not 28 games. It's only 12 games.
It missed half the season. It's crazy.
Exactly. It's crazy. And, they always want to say it's all about the athletes. It's all about the athletes. Like DeAndre's situation is he didn't play because his administration told him he couldn't play, but he could have played.
Right.
But, as a student athlete, we went through the same thing with James Wiseman. They told him he couldn't play, and he played. And what happened? We get hit with a show cause and Penny lose 3 games. And, so you have to do what the administration said. If they give you bad and erroneous information, you got to go with that. So I think he should be able to play because they gave him bad information.
What a huge addition that would be if he's able to play, too. Such a good player.
The Tigers really missed out on Lil Curtis. I think that was going to be a big miss for them. And next year, I don't like talking that far in the future because if he had committed, it would have set the table up for Penny having a possible another number 1 recruiting class.
Wow, that would have been huge offseason for the team as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the football side of things for the Tigers coming up this week. A huge game coming off a bye week now, maybe a much-needed bye week for the team as well. So they've got Tulane. This is a Friday game this week, so nobody forget it's a Friday game this week.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's a scary one too. So the two narratives I'm seeing as it leads up to this game, the last 2 home games for the Tigers have had really poor first halves, just really bad starts. But on the other hand, their last game against a quote-unquote marquee opponent, Missouri, and Missouri looked real good this past weekend against LSU, even though they kind of lost it late there. They played right up, went toe-to-toe with them. So which of those 2 scenarios do you think we're more likely to see on Friday when Tulane comes to town?
Because it's Tulane and because what happened last year against Tulane, for some reason, Memphis plays horrible in New Orleans, but when they come up here, they beat the brakes off of Tulane. And I think Memphis will beat the brakes off Tulane, and by that, I think they would be by double digits. And by doing that, you would set yourself up to get more respect across the nation because in 2 or 3 weeks, because I think once they win, if they win this game right here, they got they can go rest of the month of October going to UAB next week, then North Texas the week after that. They can go into November being 7-1, and then in November, what happens in November? Those bowl polls come out, and the AP don't mean nothing. Those bowl polls mean everything. And if Memphis sitting at 7-1 or 8-1 when the first poll come out, they gonna be looking pretty to go to the Peach Bowl.
You're looking across this league right now, and not only going to the Peach Bowl, I mean, you got a real good chance to win this league, and I mean, that's just a great look in the one year like this, especially with how good Tulane was last year. SMU still in this league, too. They look good at times, too. That would be awesome, especially even with those 2 tough games against Navy, tough game against Boise State. This would be a huge win for the Tigers on Friday. I'm excited for it. All right. Now I got to get to another team that I know you love. How does it feel that I can say, Terry, your first place Pittsburgh Steelers after a huge win yesterday? I know you watched it. I got to hear your thoughts about that game.
Man, that was an old-fashioned 1970s type game, man. It's like the under for that game from Vegas should have been 25 points because it was one of those games. It wasn't pretty, but it was a good football game. You want seeing the high flash Miami up and down the field, but they was out there hitting and block punts and punt returns. But it was an ugly game, but it was a good game. And I like those type of games because sometimes you need to go back to that old style. And it's, I'd rather be in first and better instead of last right there.
Mm-hmm. No kidding. And how about that? Mike Tomlin, he just finds a way every single week.
Does.
People counting him out right there, but you cannot sleep on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I tell you what, that defense and special teams for them looked unbelievable yesterday. Great win by them. And I'm a closet Steelers fan, Terry. I'm right there with you. I'm so excited to see them at the top of that division. Terry Davis.
And another thing, too,
ahead,
I know
please.
you're talking about Miami, man. I'm not a guy for firing, but I think the Miami coach needs to be reprimanded because I am a big Miami fan, and I actually watched that game, the whole fourth quarter, and they didn't show up to play. He did not have them ready to play, and he should have just got out there with the win. I know he was trying to get that guy 100 yards rushing yard, but look, the win is more important than individual stats.
Absolutely.
No kidding. And then further, like you said, total breakdown because it's not only that he didn't kneel. I mean, the two pass plays that Georgia Tech scored on. I mean, total defensive breakdown. Oh, what a shame. I mean, that's an opportunity to stay undefeated, going undefeated to North Carolina next week. Made me sad, man.
Mm-hmm.
But that's,
And as a Miami fan, I'm going to take North Carolina, and I don't care how many points they get given up. I'm going to take them at home. Because Drake May is the truth, man. He is the truth.
No kidding. Good
smart,
player. That'll be a fun game to watch. One of the marquee games of the weekend. Terry Davis joins John every week. He joined Brian and I today.
Mm-hmm.
Follow him on Twitter, TerryD515. Read everything he does at the Tri-State Defender. You can see him at every game. He's got his camera in hand. Terry, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Terry.
Anytime, my brother. Y'all be good. And make sure Johnny come out of rehab. I know he has a bunch of bad pieces. Pray for him and hope he's okay.
I will.
We need all the prayers.
Thanks, Terry. Back after this.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Country music singer-songwriter Kylie Morgan absolutely loves her Genesis diamond ring.
I got so many compliments as soon as I got the ring and continue to get compliments on it, because it looks really pretty on my finger.
Kylie's husband Jay heard folks in the music industry raving about Genesis, but he also did a lot of homework on his own.
When it came to finding the ring, he took it very seriously. He did all the research. I think he knows more about diamonds than any man in the entire world, and that's how he landed on Genesis. He just knew that they were the best.
Jay picked out a stunning, flawless, pear-shaped diamond in an elegant setting. Got the value price Genesis is known for. And now they both tell everyone they meet about the amazing Genesis experience.
When you walk into Genesis, you can just feel the happiness. You know that they're helping find something that symbolizes the love that you have for your partner. And you can feel that as soon as you walk through the door.
It's always been you, and I've always been your wife.
Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo Saturday, October 21st, 2023 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications and interviewing candidates on site. Salary starting at $54,611, increasing to $60,713 after probation. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by Scooters Plus on Summer Avenue. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choke.
I should update, Bryant. Last week, me, you, and Zach Boyd did the first inaugural, I guess that's redundant, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
it is.
inaugural Bag of Death.
And last, I guess.
No, we'll do it this week.
Oh, will we?
Yeah, tomorrow when we talk to Zach, we'll do it. I mean, it'll be on you guys.
I was about to say, who
It'll be on
makes
you
sure
guys.
we do the punishments?
It'll be on you guys to fulfill your punishments. We'll figure it out from there, I
a little
suppose.
self-policing.
That's right. Yeah, maybe I'll get John to police or something like that. He's always a good police officer. But we all won.
Sure did.
Zach's Navy midshipmen, thank you for your service, won
TYFRS.
their game. You had a big Colts win.
What a win!
Yeah, don't say what a win. We're how many miles away from Nashville?
How about that?
For goodness sakes, why would you say what a win? I tell you what, though, I think we're going to talk about the NFL next segment.
Sure.
I think we all underestimate all the time in the NFL how important a good, trustworthy backup quarterback is. And the Colts, I think we all underestimated.
the best one around.
When we underestimated just how important that was going to be for their season as well, and it's showing its face right now. He is a really good backup quarterback in this league. Could probably start on a lot of teams as well, but when you got a two-person tandem like that, and now you're going to have to lean on Gardy Party for a little bit here. So, and then I had the Niners win last night.
You did.
How about that?
Not how about that?
So we're going to talk about the NFL next time, but I just thought we'd update everybody on what was going on, and a 500 week from T-Money and Brasky, too.
That?
Uh-huh.
How about that? A winning week.
And it was Lee Sterling's one loss that they bet against.
Really?
How about that?
How about that?
So in terms of handicapping the handicapper, they did a great job. He only lost one game, and they got it right.
How about that?
That was the Alabama game.
Alabama, yeah. I just saw this on Twitter. I wanted to bring it up before we went to a break.
Please.
Supposedly, according to The Guardian, in 2028, the Los Angeles Olympics will have several new sports: cricket, baseball, softball, and flag football.
You ever? They used to have baseball and softball.
Right, but those are coming back for Los Angeles.
Have you ever seen flag football? It's crazy. Have you ever?
Isn't it?
Have you ever watched cricket?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I taught myself cricket one winter break.
If you're ever just like bored, like late at night or like early in the morning or whatever, and you find yourself like, I want to watch some live sports or something like that, or you're
cricket's always on,
or you're a degenerate gambler. No kidding, it's always on ESPN Plus. They have some deal with like New Zealand or something like that, so you can always watch New Zealand play.
And they don't have maybe in the future they might get one, but there's
and it's easy to pick up too. It's not like
it really
it's super
is.
complicated. I mean, you watch it for like 10 minutes and you'll immediately know what's going on.
I watched one like Christmas break. There was nothing on. I was staying up late at night. I was in high school. I was just staying up all night, and I just taught myself cricket. And so for like 3 weeks, I watched cricket.
What's the pitcher called?
The hurler.
No, that's hurling. It's the bowler.
Huh?
You're
the bowler. Look, it's been like 8 years since I taught myself
so
cricket.
Confidently though.
Then I haven't watched it since then.
That.
But they've started a professional cricket league in America, in the United States.
PCL.
I don't know. What
I think
it's
that's
called.
a ligament in your knee.
Yeah, it is. But wait, it's like PCL or something like
That's
that.
what I just said.
Oh.
Steve Martin was a pro.
But yeah, so cricket's starting to grow here in America. I love the idea of flag football, though. Who do you get to play flag football, Olympic flag football? You don't get NFL players, do you?
You get ultimate frisbee competitors.
Can I try out for the Olympic flag football team?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's something to look into, maybe. You know what? I was about to in a minute here. I was going to tease something we might do tomorrow because we're gonna preview the NHL all week this week.
I'm wearing my Bedard jersey right now.
He's got his Connor Bedard jersey on. The Blackhawks play tomorrow, so we're gonna go through here. The NHL is a sport that I know a lot of people in our market aren't necessarily excited about ever. It's not necessarily a sport that people like, but I think every year when the Stanley Cup playoffs come along and people are watching it on TV, maybe people are looking for some sport to watch, I think they always enjoy it. I can't urge people enough. I know you have plenty of bandwidth, especially football's only on the weekend. Sure. Baseball's winding down here. There's plenty of bandwidth to watch, and basketball's going on too, of course, but there's plenty of bandwidth to watch another sport this time of year. I encourage you, And we got the Predators here in market. You can watch a lot. The Carolina Hurricanes are in market here, I believe, in quite a few games. I encourage anybody to watch hockey, and we're going to help you do that. We're going to give you some preview things to watch over the next few days and hopefully provide some entertainment value associated with that as well. So Bryant's got his hockey jersey on. But maybe that's something you can do there is look into what goes into joining the flag football team.
Now I'm seeing we have a men's flag football team. The United States does.
So it doesn't look like you're going to
that
make
they play the World Games Flag Football Championship presented by the NFL, Team Italy versus Team USA.
All right, so we're not going to talk about that tomorrow
The
anymore.
Italians must have a good flag football team. How about that?
Italians. So we're not going to talk about flag football tomorrow
Maurice
anymore.
Jones-Drew on the call for this championship game. How about that?
MJD.
Yeah. Short guy, little guy.
Angry runner.
And
though.
Michael Robinson.
Angry runner, though, man. I'll tell you what. Real quick here, because I don't really see any time for us on the horizon to talk about it later, so we'll just do it right now here. Baseball this weekend was crazy.
Sure was. Wow, what a weekend.
Rangers up 2-0 on the road going back home. I'll tell you what, though. Twins got their only win of this series. Right? Because
Yeah,
of
no
Pablo
chance.
Lopez. And quite frankly,
he was awesome.
He was. And they're not going to win another game because they're not going to pitch Pablo again for the rest of this series. And quite frankly, I don't see a team in the American League that can beat the Astros. Do you?
No.
I don't think so either. No way.
No. Even though the Rangers put up 11, the Texas Rangers outscored the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, I still don't see them beating Houston in a series. Did you watch any of that Texas-Baltimore game from yesterday?
No, I only saw the highlights this morning on
That
Sports
game
Center.
was crazy. Baltimore scores 2 in the
the
bottom of
first
the
inning.
first.
No, I did see that. And they scored. It was 5-2 in the third inning.
It was. They put up a 5 spot in the top of the second inning. Texas did. It was crazy. Our boy Jordan Montgomery was on the mound for Texas. Didn't have a great showing, but still, I guess got through 4 innings and then they yanked him.
Yeah,
But
did not
it was
get the
a fun
win.
game. No,
Did not get the win.
Not.
What did you think of the National League Series?
Well, we've only had one game. The game 2 will be today.
No, that's what I mean. But what did you think of the 2 series that went off on Saturday there?
I'm trying to remember. Atlanta lost. The Phillies got the first one, maybe the only win for them.
Not only did they get the win, Bryant, they shut them out.
Sure did. And I thought that was going to be a high-scoring game. It was not. Because the Phillies completely shut them down.
Classic Braves,
So,
the generation of the Braves in the postseason.
I have been thrown off all weekend, especially Saturday, about these start times.
Win a playoff game, please.
But these start times have really thrown me off. I thought that game started at 6, and so when I tuned in at 6 o'clock to watch that game, they were already in like the 5th inning. It was 0-0, and then Philly scored some runs. The other one, the D-backs beat the Dodgers. First off, Clayton Kershaw, not a playoff pitcher. Maybe looking at retirement. But I love this D-backs team, and I picked them to win this series. I'm still on that.
You can get Astros series price close to even money. -110 is the best price.
Right
you can
now?
find. Yeah, right now.
Oh, take that and run.
Against the Twins.
Take
Twins
it and
Twins
run.
are +105. It's basically
Wow.
even money either way. It's a
take it
joke. It's just because it's 1-1. I mean, Paulo Lopez is the only one getting a win. That's the best bet on the board. I don't even need to handicap the games today. If you want to make money, find it on whatever sportsbook you bet on. The best price you can find. Series price for the Astros. That's free money.
Did Sonny Gray already throw in the series?
Yeah, he threw this.
So he's not.
No,
gonna
I
throw
no, I
then.
actually have no idea if Sonny Gray threw. I don't know why I said yes. I apologize. No, because
Pulling at me there.
Ober threw the first game.
Yeah,
so
we'll
no.
see Sonny Gray. So maybe they.
Sonny
can get
Gray's
another one.
scheduled to throw Tuesday.
Interesting.
Against Christian Javier.
Ha! It's a good pitching matchup.
Let's take a break. I'm gonna scarf down lunch during the break.
Heck yeah.
And when we come back, I'll have all this energy and we'll talk about the National Football League over the weekend. Back after this.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. Five Ash Roofing, the name to know. Five Ash Roofing, the only way to go. Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Five Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. Five Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Oh, come on, it's funny.
Can't do it.
Trick or treat, here's some meat.
Seriously, the Central Barbecue spot for October has been about Halloween for like 5 straight years.
Look, you've done the ladling Central Barbecue beans into their bag thing.
Yeah, I got in trouble both times. They didn't like the phrase ladling beans into their bag.
Well, what else happens in October? Hey, I tell you what, do they do any pumpkin spice stuff?
God, no.
That's good. I'm tapped for anything else for October. How about just a straight spot about how great the food is at Central Barbecue?
What, like Central Barbecue has the best slow-smoked ribs in Memphis?
Yeah, something like that.
Too boring.
It doesn't matter, we're out of time anyway.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
It's time for the Fall Haul at Northern Tool and Equipment. Get your hands on tough tools at prices that are tough to ignore. Got plans? Cancel them. Trucks in the shop? Borrow someone else's. Don't like saving money? Right. So head to the Fall Haul at Northern Tool. Back up the truck for the season's biggest event and save on generators, power tools, trailers, and more. Shop in-store or at northerntool.com. We're made for this.
Grapevine Liquor and Wine has the largest selection of bourbon in North Mississippi and wines from all over the world. Let Jimmy the Delta Boy help you select the perfect spirit or wine to impress. Whether you're looking for the best price or a certain flavor profile, Grapevine Liquor and Wines has it. If you want good southern treatment and the hottest prices, Grapevine Liquor and Wine, Getwell Road, South Haven.
Hotty toddy, gosh almighty, where do you get your bourbon? Flim flam, bim bam, Grapevine, by damn.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York. But many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
That is one of those things. When things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
A feeble attempt to stuff as much food in my mouth as possible before we came back onto the
Belly
radio.
ache.
Yep. Well, I'm hopefully eating things that'll hurt my tummy, you know?
Yeah, but I don't care what you're eating. Stuffing it all down and, like, what do we have, 5 minutes?
That's true.
Maybe get the hiccups or something?
I had a little Sammy, a banana. And I'm eating these seaweed snacks. You don't
You've
like
been
seaweed.
eating those a lot.
I really like them. They're called, I'll do free pub for them. No one's paying me to do this.
Free pub, if you're listening.
Guinea roasted seaweed snacks. You get them like Whole Foods and stuff like that. They're just like little roasted I don't know, flakes of seaweed, I guess you would call them. It was like a chip substitute, so they're kind of salty. These have avocado oil on them.
Ugh.
You don't like avocados?
I've never had them.
Because they're green?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, but they're really good.
Bingo.
It's like a chip substitute, a lot less calories. I mean, it's really good. It's a light little snack, and it says seaweed turtle safe. And it's organic.
Wow. And organic. How
USDA
about that?
organic. No, they're really good. I mean, all these stuff is like not really the point of it. They actually taste good. I like them. Big fan. And everybody liked them, though. Anyway, I want to talk about the NFL here, Brian.
Let's do it.
Where to start? You know what? I know exactly where to start because there was one game that started before the rest. And my question for you, London's team plays at 8:30 a.m., Brian. You see any of it?
Yes.
No, be honest.
No,
man.
I did.
Come on,
I did.
come on.
I went to church yesterday and I was watching it before the service started.
See,
not
I bet
during
I
the
bet
service.
the over in Notre Dame Louisville, so I didn't need to go to church
So you didn't have to
yesterday.
go to church. How about that? That's how you do it.
So you did see some of the game?
I did. I did see some of it, yes.
The whole thing?
No. No.
Oh, because you were at church. But I was impressed.
Yes.
I really wrote that
I also
question
slept
down.
through the opener.
I really
the start of the game.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I woke up at like 9.
I forgot it was on type of thing.
No, I just value my sleep more
A
than
lot
I
of
value
people did
London.
that in the Toy Story week.
And forgot it. Completely forgot.
Yeah. But this week, luckily, like one of the 3 pregame shows you watch, I mean, I'm assuming just 3. No, 4. There's 4. But CBS and Fox don't start till like an hour before the game, though, right?
Yeah.
And then ESPN starts at 9, and NFL Network, NFL Game Day Morning.
I've never seen an NFL one.
It's the best one.
That's
man.
what I've heard. But I haven't had NFL Network up until like 2 months ago.
I can't recommend it enough.
So I'll have to tune in.
The entertainment value, it's up there with inside the NBA.
Really?
It's that level of entertaining. It's unbelievable. They do a great job. It's a great cast. I cannot, anybody listening either, I can't recommend it to you enough. Because I know a lot of people nowadays, too, have like an objection to turning on ESPN and stuff like that. If you're looking for something to watch on Sunday morning, NFL Game Day Morning is the best pregame show that you can watch. It's unbelievable. Hands down. Not even close. Anyway. If you do watch that one already, though, you might have gone to that. If you forgot about the game, you might have gone to that.
And you saw the game
at like 8 o'clock and been like, "Oh my God, this game's about to start." That was me. I had forgotten, but turned it in. I was up already. 8 o'clock. I said, "Ooh, Game Day Morning starts." And like the first 2 hours of Game Day Morning are so silly and ridiculous too. It's so much fun to watch just before they get into all this serious football analysis, as it were. And so like they'll do hilarious like sponsored segments, like maybe one with Lowe's where they'll have power drills and they're like, "He's the power drill for this team." And like start revving the power, that kind of thing. So it's great stuff. And so that's what I did to watch that game. It was 11-7 going into first. It was the first time I believe that the Bills were held scoreless the entire first quarter, all season. First time they've been held scoreless in the first quarter. London's team. Also, you had the rare Josh Allen versus Josh Allen matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Mina Kimes, hilarious tweet. And I know people have an objection to Mina Kimes. She's a woman that talks football. But nonetheless, I really like Mina Kimes a lot. And she had a hilarious tweet where, you know, the A-Rod meme where he is lifting in the gym and he has the mirror and he's like kissing his own face in the mirror. And it said Josh Allen when he chest bumps Josh Allen. Because, you know, there's a Josh Allen on the defense for the Jags. And then, of course, the famous Josh Allen plays quarterback for the Bills. Bills. Old Josh Allen matchup in this one. So that was fun to watch as well. Like I said, scoreless for the Bills in the first quarter, 11-7 going into the fourth, and it ended 25-20. Fireworks in the fourth quarter.
Sure were.
Especially at that point in time, I'm trying to bet the rest of the games for the day, and the line is just, for this one, the live line is going, it's 5.5, and then it's 10.5, and then it's 5.5. I mean, it's just going up and down. What do you think at the end of the game?
No, I mean, it was exciting. Look, I'll be honest. I know a lot of people were on Buffalo on this game.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
what?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
lot
insane.
of people were on Buffalo in this game.
The Jags
It's a home game!
Seriously, though, the Jags stayed all week over there.
Yeah. I saw a ton of people. I don't know.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Buffalo was a 5-point favorite in this game.
So 5.5. It was one of my best bets of the week.
Really?
So if you go over there, I had like 3 really that I liked a lot this week. But if you go over there, and then I also, we'll get that in a minute. Also the Giants, please. That was one I liked a lot. I haven't learned my lesson about betting Brian Daboll, but I also hadn't learned my lesson about betting Mike Tomlin, and that one paid off. So you know what I'm going to do, Brian? I'm going to keep betting Brian Daboll. I'm just going to keep doing it until it works once. I'm going to keep doing it. Anyway. Going over there, we were talking about betting the Jags, right? Yeah. So betting the Jags 5.5. So you're telling me if they would have played, if home field is worth like 3.5 points, so you're telling me they would have been an 8.5 point favorite if they would have played in Buffalo?
8.5 point. Yeah. Buffalo would have been an 8.5 point
That's
favorite.
insane, man. So like it's just that was a bad line. Vegas really makes bad lines, but that just wasn't a very good line. And the Jags played really well.
But I didn't think Buffalo played bad either.
Certainly not in the fourth quarter.
No.
It's the Jags defense is really good as well. A lot of that, too, is the Bills just had a really impressive game on the best offense in football.
Sure.
And that probably is why that line shifted so much.
Oh, that inflates it for sure.
And the Jags played a tight game the week
prior.
And
I think some people, even though they only have 2 losses this season, I think some people would say they're disappointing
because
this year.
week 1
against the
Colts was really bad. But the Bills week 1 was bad, too, and no one's throwing that game out the window.
Well, a lot of emotion in that game. You see Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and, just a lot going on in that game. Throw that one out.
I've been throwing it out. But I said that right as week 1 happened. It's like we're going to throw out a lot of these results.
Yeah.
Like we're going to look back at after week 5 now and say like, oh man, some of these results were crazy in week 1. Like this is not the real team that we've been watching all year. So that was the first game of the day, and Trevor Lawrence is a man and was awesome in that game. Should I read like a stat line or something?
Awesome. I guess if you want.
Travis Etienne also was really good in that game. I don't want to. He had 2 touchdowns, I believe. He had 2 touchdowns. He had 26 carries in the game. Unbelievable. And Trevor Lawrence was 25 of 37 for 315. Really good game for him as well.
31 yards rushing.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yes.
But he also fumbled 3 times.
Well, but they got him back.
They did. No, they lost 2 of them.
Well, they got 1 back.
True. That is true.
2 for 3.
I thought this was a good game. I thought both teams played really well. I know a lot of people were talking bad about Buffalo. Again, kind of similar to the everyone seems to be disappointed of this Jags team and are talking down on them. I thought both teams played really well.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm taking a left turn in this segment now, okay? Here's what I'm going to do. I've got notes on a lot of games because as I was watching them, I did like an old Stugatz weekend observation stuff.
I love it.
I've got the red zone on yesterday, and I just start jotting down notes. So what I did this morning is all of my crazy notes that I took on this sheet of paper yesterday, I organized them by game. And as I'm reading these, I'm like, I can't go through each of these notes. This would be insane to do this. I don't know why it's just occurring to me that it would be insane. So I'm going to say a game, and I'm going to have you say play or pass.
Okay. I love this.
Game,
let's do it.
We're going to play.
I have one that's like a massive play. Like if this was like betting, this would be like a 50-unit, a 5-star, 10-star.
But the games have already
play.
happened.
I know, but I'm saying in terms of me wanting to talk about this game.
5-star talk about it. Okay.
A whale, if you will.
We talked about this one with Terry Davis earlier, but his first place, I'm going to say yours because they're all of ours. Your first place, Pittsburgh Steelers, just fun to say. Points at a premium in this game, we playing or passing?
Pass. I really didn't see much of this one. If you want to talk about it, please.
I'll just say special teams and defense for the Steelers were unbelievable. The Ravens were terrible in the red zone. I mean, atrocious in the red zone. Something like I can't remember. There was a horrible stat about Lamar Jackson on Stop Van Pelt. I don't remember what it was, but Tyler Huntley. No. Trevor Siemian was included in the stat, so it's a bad stat at that point. Their running back, Jalen Warren, had one of the most insane hurdles I've ever seen the Steelers running back did. Jumped over a man. It was unbelievable, his hurdle. And how about this stat? Last one, and then we'll go ahead. John Harbaugh, 1-6 versus the Steelers since 2020.
Holy cow.
All of the games decided by one score.
Wow.
That points at a premium in AFC North football.
Sure, absolutely.
I know we make jokes, but it truly is a better brand of football.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is. I'll watch it any day of the week. That's that's how football is meant to be played right there. Put a emphasis on special teams, emphasis on defense, and more about that later. I was watching NFL primetime last night, and I tell you what, I love the way Boomer and Booger go through the games and so,
oh, yeah.
And they do a new thing, too, where every team that they're not sure about, they make it like a question mark. And again, great drive there by the Detroit Lions. They'll do that. I love that. I want to start incorporating that into my daily life as well. And they also give game balls at the end. And it got me fired up. I said, I want to give a damn game ball. I'm giving a game ball today. We'll do that later as well. All right, how about this one? The Giants and the Dolphins. My first note here before I give you player pass is I said I want to leave Wink Martindale in Miami. That was in the first. I wrote that note in the first quarter. Anyway, go ahead. Get player pass.
Let's play this game.
Okay.
Let's play this. Tell me how to pronounce my fellow's last name.
Devin Achane.
Achane? Is it? I've heard it.
Achan.
Is it Achan or is it Achane? Or I've heard it 15 different ways.
Achane.
Kid can play.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable.
This kid's for real.
You know, I was up here listening every morning here on Sports 56, every Saturday morning, I should say, and Sunday morning, I believe. We do like a Westwood One fantasy show or whatever.
Yeah, fantasy's on Saturday, that's right.
It's only on Saturday. So Saturday morning at 6:30, we do a fantasy
Sunday,
show.
Sunday, it's NFL Today and NFL Insider.
So we do a fantasy show, and it's like these guys from DraftKings come, and they'll like break stuff down. And so they're doing like general fantasy news, but they also do daily fantasy segment. And they said that Devin Achane was like a $4,000 player, and that is very low.
Yeah.
Like the highest running back is going to be like in the 8,000 range. If a guy's really popping off, it'll be like 9,000, 10,000 every week. And Devin Achane is 4,000. That's insane. The guy's had like 150 yards every week.
Unreal.
He's been unbelievable. I mean, especially if you're in a fantasy league where maybe you don't have a bunch of sleuths in there, this is a guy that you need to get on a roster immediately. Yeah. He's a really good player.
No, he is a really good player, and 151 yards yesterday. This Daniel Jones injury, that could be, I mean, depending on how long he's out with that.
He sacked 11 times yesterday.
That defense, Miami's defense, everyone wants to talk about the offense. That defense flying around.
I mean, the defense was fine yesterday, too, but it's not. It's the
offensive line.
The Giants' offensive line is so bad. Evan Neal, there's just clip after clip, especially after he's talking mess to the fans yesterday. There's just people just clipping. He's a clown, man. Yeah. But it's not just him. The whole offensive line is terrible, too. But people, I don't understand this. If you're an Alabama fan, that's one thing. If you thought he was good at Alabama, that's another thing. If you're just a general fan of college sports and the SEC and you're watching a lot of it and you like to follow the guys that came from the SEC, that's really your gateway to the NFL. I just want to see the guys that I saw play in college, that kind of thing. College sports fans defending this guy, he is terrible. Like, objectively terrible. There is nobody that is giving analysis of the National Football League that thinks this guy is any good. Like, just take the L, man. Like, I don't understand. Has to be this war going on now. Like, this guy's terrible, man. I just don't understand it. I mean, I'm so tired. I hope I never hear another defense of this guy again because he's absolutely horrible. I mean, if I can tell you that an offensive lineman is terrible because I have no clue in the world how to evaluate offensive line play, that's how you know he's awful, because I can see it. I'm watching him blow assignments, not know who he's supposed to block, and look like an absolute clown. The whole offensive line, again, is not very good. They're getting beat up, but he is like stupid and bad, both together.
According to Pro Football Focus,
PFF,
Miami had 24 pressures in that game yesterday.
Unbelievable. No wonder Daniel Jones got hurt.
I mean, and I'm trying to look up, let's see.
The Giants did have the first score of the game for their entire team, though, so I take back what I said about Wink Martindale.
Evan Neal had a 29 player grade for pass blocking.
What an awful.
Out of 100.
Terrible.
And that's awful. As a starter, there are two backups in front of him.
We got to move on. I just looked at the time. Holy crap, we're so late here. Saints in a pick'em against the Patriots was a joke. Player pass.
Pass.
I'm passing on that one too, but the Saints are sneaky good, I'm telling you right now. Eagles-Rams, I said set a record for face masks and horse collars. Player pass on this one.
Pass.
I mean, that was crazy, though. It was like every time someone would just get a stiff arm to the chest, and then they would just have to grab something.
Flags
and they were
all over
like,
the place.
oh, horse collar tackle. And the dude's looking at the ref like, what do you want me to grab, man?
Yeah.
Like, I just got I got a face full of fists, and like, I have to grab something. I can't just let him go. Jets-Broncos. My first note for this one is Jets, Jets. Player pass on this one.
Let's play.
Okay, go for it.
Russell Wilson. Look, it's not his fault. It really is not. They have so many issues on this team. It's not his fault. He was doing everything he could out there. And I don't like Russell Wilson.
I mean, he didn't help anything.
He didn't help. But
and also, bad sign whenever you're wearing the white Bronco helmet. I mean, O.J. Simpson played football. You can't wear a white Bronco
Now, here's
helmet.
my question. Because me and my brother were talking about this yesterday or 2 days ago. If Denver continues to lose and they have like a top 4 pick, do you draft a quarterback?
I don't know. Is that a good answer?
No.
Oh. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Russell Wilson is not – I mean, he's not good, but he's not necessarily the problem.
No.
If he had, like, a supporting cast that you like back there, I don't know the answer to that. I don't think the team is very good around him either.
I don't think so either.
He's throwing to Judge Jerry Jeudy and then what's my other fellow's name that plays receiver for them?
Cortland Sutton?
No, there's one that I have another pun with his name is the reason why I'm asking. Adam swims upstream Troutman. I mean, there's just not a whole lot of guys to throw the ball to out there. So to your point as well, no help, no offensive line.
Maybe you get
quarterback should be the last thing. If this team is as bad as it is, quarterback's the last thing.
Maybe you draft Marvin Harrison, and then you've got an elite wide receiver.
Yeah, it seems like they might need an O-lineman too. Yeah. Folks also trying to argue Nate Hackett did a worse job than Urban Meyer. Please, Urban Meyer not a football coach. Nate Hackett is a football coach.
How about
that's the difference?
How about Saleh after the game going up and shaking hands and saying "stay humble"?
Yeah, what he said. He said.
Mm-hmm. That's supposedly that's what he said. That's what's been making the rounds on social media. Is there's like a close up of them shaking hands, and you can see him kind of mouth somebody. It looks like he says "stay humble" when he's shaking hands with Sean Payton.
We're gonna need some sleuth reporting on that.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can reach out to a lip reader on the internet and maybe get one of them on for tomorrow. Moving on. This is a great one, Kansas City, Minnesota. My first note here, what do you think about this Rashee Rice?
Oh, man, I love Rashee Rice.
He is good. Where did he go to school?
He went to SMU.
Oh, did
in
he
the
really?
conference. Oh, yeah.
He's a really good player. They like this guy a lot, and they're throwing to him a lot. He's a good over-the-middle option.
Yeah.
How about this? Player pass.
Oh, let's play it.
Okay.
It seems like you're very excited about it. Let's play it.
I was going to play it. Chiefs' third one-score win this year.
Wow, is that right?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So they're playing some close games, even with Minnesota. That's kind of disappointing. Also, Patrick Mahomes became the first player under 30 in the NFL history to beat every other team.
Wow.
And I saw that
That's
stat,
incredible.
and literally all of the comments under that stat was, "Well, he hasn't beat the Chiefs. Well, he hasn't beat the Chiefs. Shut up.
Shut up.
Good Lord. What
Travis
a stupid
Kelce,
thing
tough
to
as
say.
nails.
Is he?
Is he? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe. He came back from an injury to play. And I was up here producing the night game last night, and I heard they ran the same interview with Patrick Mahomes 3 times yesterday between the time I got here and the time I left of Patrick Mahomes going, yeah, he's just like me. He's just really tough. He's just tough guy. I knew he'd come back in here, and we would just try to win the game.
It's a good Pat Mahomes.
Thank you. It's first time trying it out.
Yeah, he shook it off.
Sure did. And then I saw somebody.
It's a Taylor Swift pun.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, I saw somebody on Twitter made a fake Twitter page and made it like a Swiftie account and started tweeting out like, I can't believe the NFL would have turf on the field. Like Travis Kelce deserves better. Come on, Swifties. Let's ban against the NFL and ban turf.
I like it.
And all the Swifties were in the comments like, yeah, I don't know what this turf is, but you're right. It was great.
I don't know what turf is, but,
but you're right.
How about this one? Aiden Hutchinson had the pick of the year yesterday in the Lions game. Player pass on his Lions. I mean, it was a terrible game.
I mean, I'm a pass it. You're right, but I'm a pass it.
I have to say one more thing about it. How could you not love the Detroit Lions? Lions had a reverse.
The who Lions?
The Detroit Lions.
You said the New York Lions.
Oh, did I? I think I said Detroit, but I said it fast.
It sounded like New York.
Yeah, potato.
That's right.
They're both the same. The Lions ran a reverse flea flicker in the game.
The 49ers did as well last night. I'm so sorry.
Unbelievable. You passed it. I said I had to say one thing about the game. It was that they had a reverse flea flicker. What the hell do you think I was setting up?
I don't know.
Unbelievable.
They scored on it.
Hey, Bryant, did you know that the Niners also ran the same exact play? And do you know where they got the idea to do it? Watching football earlier in the day. That's how I was going to end the segment. So everything I like to do here on the radio generally has a punctuation mark at the end of segments. I'm not even going to get to the rest of these games. I wanted to give my game ball to the Steelers' defense and special teams. I want to talk about how the Colts are underrated with a great backup quarterback in Gardner Minshew, and how the Titans are an absolute joke sometimes down the stretch of football games. No offensive line help whatsoever, getting sacked late in the games. I want to talk about all that stuff. And I was going to round it all out with a great analogy about, oh, man, did you see how it brought it all together? And the Niners did the same play, and they did so because they were watching football earlier in the day, and they just decided on the spot, we're going to run that exact play later tonight. And so they did. And then, Bryant, you just had to get in there. I mean, not playing team ball right now. Selfish ball right now from you.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Back after this.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time for the Fall Haul at Northern Tool and Equipment. Get your hands on tough tools at prices that are tough to ignore. Got plans? Cancel them. Trucks in the shop? Borrow someone else's. Don't like saving money? Right. So head to the Fall Haul at Northern Tool. Back up the truck for the season's biggest event and save on generators, power tools, trailers, and more. Shop in-store or at northerntool.com. We're made for this.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Oh, come on, it's funny.
Can't do it.
Trick or treat, here's some meat.
Seriously, the Central Barbecue spot for October has been about Halloween for like 5 straight years.
Look, you've done the ladling Central Barbecue beans into their bag thing.
Yeah, I got in trouble both times. They didn't like the phrase ladling beans into their bag.
Well, what else happens in October? Hey, I tell you what, do they do any pumpkin spice stuff?
God, no.
That's good. I'm tapped for anything else for October. How about just a straight spot about how great the food is at Central Barbecue?
What, like Central Barbecue has the best slow-smoked ribs in Memphis?
Yeah, something like that.
Too boring.
It doesn't matter, we're out of time anyway.
4.9 liter V8, 0 to 60, and I'm about to find out.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
I wonder if there's any, let me see if there's anything left here. Oh, how about this? C.J. Stroud balling. This is the only game I didn't talk about. C.J. Stroud balling in games. C.J. Stroud is Mr. Witching Hour. Now, I know they lost yesterday, but
that was a fun game.
He's balling in the witching hour. He has yet to throw a pick through 5 weeks of football.
No, he's for real. He's for real.
And then Koo wins the game. I love Koo, man. He's a good kicker. Arthur Smith loves Koo as well.
Sure does.
He loves Koo.
I'm ready to fire Desmond Ritter, though.
How about this, though?
330 yards, though.
Desmond Ritter is undefeated at home.
I'm tired of hearing that stat. I'm so tired.
Isn't that a
of hearing
ridiculous
that
stat, though?
It is, but it has
so
nothing
bad.
to do with him.
Exactly. But that's kind of the argument I make when people talk about Jalen Hurts. And I know no one wants to hear Jalen Hurts criticism because he ran the ball really well yesterday. They had a really good game throwing the ball. But like everyone wants to tout that because the Eagles are going far in the playoffs and stuff like that. This is a Jalen Hurts stat. But everyone is fine saying that Desmond Ritter's not a good quarterback. It's not that Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback. It's that he's not a top 5 because as soon his running ability also makes Jalen Hurts really good because he had an angry run where he is just shoving off tacklers, and that is a great attribute to have for now. But when you have to fall back at some point on pocket passing and stuff like that, and furthermore you don't have the weapons that you have or like the running back room or the offensive line, I'm not sure he's got the goods, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think he does either. Wait, who are we talking about? Or are we talking about Ritter? Or
I also want to talk about college football here coming up here. Okay, so Brian, before we get to this, the past few weeks, the first 4 weeks of the year, I've been doing my top 25.
Oh, absolutely.
Because early in the year, I get labeled sometimes as not a college football guy. I'm a college football guy.
Are.
I got a Tim Tebow jersey back from a 2006 national championship game and a 2008 national championship game. I mean, I know college football.
Sure
I watch
do.
college
like
football.
the back of your hand.
I like it. Nowadays, do I know anybody's name? Of course not. These guys stink. I don't know.
It was like 150 guys on a team.
I'm not learning their damn names. How about make a play? And
so many players they have to wear. 2 guys have to wear the same number.
Yeah, make me learn your name by making it to the National Football League where they play real football. But I'm watching college football this week, and I say, you know what? I've been scooping the Associated Press with my top 25, and I think it's time that I scoop the playoff poll. And last year, I did this the past couple of years, and I harken back to the BCS, so I go through my metrics and everything, and I love advanced analytics and stuff like that. I don't like these people choosing the order. I let my analytics do the job.
The
here.
model. I mean, throw back to the model. It's your model.
The model, like the athletic. That way, it's not me. It's the analytics
That's
here.
right.
So today, Brian, is my first of the year. It's my JCS. That's your cue to play the music.
Try it again. Hold on.
This is, I'm so excited for this. And it stands for J. Morgan Championship Series.
I see.
Maybe it should be JMCS. But
Ooh.
this is the first week of my JCS. Oh, you nailed it.
Nailed it. First try.
One take.
That's right.
One. If it was a recorded show, we'd pick that up again. All right. So my JCS has 8 teams. I've got 8 teams in the JCS.
Okay.
And then I've got OLIs here.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the OLIs. OLIs in no particular order. These are just OLIs, okay?
Okay.
My first OLI. And feel free, whatever analysis you want to give as well. I don't want to hog the mic here. You know what I mean? I am going to give the team and give the analytics that they're good at, but please, by all means.
By all means.
First up in the OLI, Georgia Tech.
Oh, okay.
I mean, a big win against Miami. They lead the country in that OTWAGOABW. Opportunity to win a game on a bye week. Because if UNC beats Miami, I'm giving Georgia Tech that win.
I was about to say, what a huge week this could be for Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech beat them twice. See, originally I actually had written down opportunity to win 2 games in 1 week. Luckily, I checked the schedule.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech on a bye week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did not have Georgia Tech's schedule memorized.
Who does?
And that's why, a real college football sleuth would. Not me, though.
Not you.
Next up, Washington.
Oh, I love Washington hosting game day this weekend.
They're OLI,
Live
though.
from Seattle.
OLI right now. They do, however, lead the country in this stat, UITBCITC.
Mouthful.
Undefeated in the best conference in the country.
Yeah, facts. I mean,
that's good enough to be OLI for me.
Right.
So that's Washington. Pac-12 there. Oklahoma.
Oh, you're such a coward. You are a coward.
OLI.
Rank them.
OLI. Now, Texas was my number 1 last week. They dropped all the way out. Not to spoil anything here. So Oklahoma is above them. But Oklahoma, for me, this is a very advanced statistic. Leads the country in this one. In this statistic, I should say. TMBAWBYTTROITARRSSWNTSM.
Oh, that's my favorite metric.
They might be a wagon, but you throw the records out in the All-State Red River Shootout, so we need to see more. I think that's true,
Who does Oklahoma have this week?
I don't know that.
Huh.
I don't know that information. But
Gave you a pass on the Georgia
It was
Tech.
a big win this past week for Oklahoma playing Texas. That's very meaningful because I thought Texas was a wagon, and Texas still might be a wagon. Unfortunately, they have to play a throw the records out game in week 6.
Understandable that you don't have their.
They're on a bye, right?
They're on an off week. That's
I
right.
knew that. See, I knew it.
And they got a big test with UCF at home.
Wow. I actually did know that too because I did look at their schedule to see who they played. Because I was researching metrics, so I had to click on their team to get there. So I want to see more from Oklahoma. They might be a wagon, but I can't say it after a throw the records out game, so we're going to need to see more there. Now, that's the OLI.
So what, 3 OLI
3
teams?
OLIs this week. I had 2 OLIs I had to cross out.
Can I hear who they are?
No, I can't. Because they're not OLI.
True.
If I was doing the OOLI, the outside looking in, then I could maybe give it to you.
Those two would be there.
I don't have those stats in front of me.
I'm sorry.
Number 8. So now we're in the top 8. This is where the JCS really gets good here.
The list.
The list. If you're a college football fan, this is the list you need to pay attention to. I mean, a bunch of other people are going to give you analysis. Don't listen to it. This is the college football analytics you need to hear. Number 8. Southern California.
Oh, USC.
First of all, Will Ferrell went to his son's frat party out there. Excellent stuff.
Was his son in that video? I could not tell which one was his son.
Just about to say the same thing. I want to know which one his son was.
Yeah, me too.
But I also thought his son might be nowhere to be seen around there. I mean, imagine if your dad. Now, my dad's not Will Ferrell, but like anybody, it doesn't matter if he is or not because it's your dad. If Will Ferrell is your dad, it doesn't matter.
Come on, Dad.
Yeah, get out of here, man. This is my time. This is my space. And so I bet he was. I don't know who that man is. Will Ferrell.
I've never heard of him. What is he, an actor or something?
Yeah, I don't watch those kinds of movies. I like dramas. Anyway, USC leads the country in this metric. UITBCITCBALBTW. Undefeated in the best conference in the country, but a little better than Washington.
I don't know about that. Show me some defense. SMD. Oh.
That's something different, I think. That's something different.
SMSD. Show me some defense.
It's a little bit better than Washington, though, and so for that reason, they lead the country.
Who knew Will Ferrell had a son old enough to be in college?
Yeah, no, I didn't actually know that either, but I assume so. He's getting older.
He is getting older.
Number 7, Penn State.
Oh, I love the Nittany Lions.
The Nittany Lions, led by James Franklin. They are a powerhouse right now, Bryant. You know, they lead the country in this stat, IHSTPYBETMTRG. I haven't seen them play yet, but everyone tells me they're really good.
They're wagon.
That's what everyone's saying.
I love Penn State.
I don't know. So I just have to respect what everyone else says, and they're number 7 for me this week. Number 6, best one of the week.
Oh.
Air Force.
Oh, TYFYS team.
They lead the country in one powerful metric,
the powerful metric.
TYFYS. Thank you for your service.
Amen.
And in the rare case here, they also have this stat going for them. UNDEFEATED.
Wow, 2 metric.
You know what that stands for?
No.
Undefeated. I just spelled undefeated.
Oh. See, I'm so used to hearing all the letters together, I wasn't trying to spell.
They're undefeated.
They are undefeated.
How about that? 5-0.
A lot of people saying Air Force could be the group of 5 team.
Coming off a bye week as well.
Sure are, yeah.
So big week for the what are they?
The Falcons.
The Falcons.
There you go.
Nailed it. Number 5. We're in the top 5 now.
How about that?
Florida State. The
Seminoles.
How about this one?
Seminoles.
It's a great metric here. This is one of my favorite metrics of the week. They lead the country in this metric, too. So I'm so glad I get to attribute it to them because they lead it. DIADTDIAMTDIAFBYCDIALATMBYD. Do it against Duke, then do it against Miami, then do it against Florida, but you can't do it against Louisville, and that might be your demise.
Oh.
I mean, Louisville might be a wagon, too.
It might be.
Louisville's a really good team.
Just beat Notre Dame.
And they don't play them. They they skated by without playing one of the best teams in their conference.
Sure did.
And for that reason, I might have to keep them pretty low all year. I think that's fair.
It might be fair.
It might be fair. We'll have to wait and see. Number 4. Now we're in the top 4. This is where the playoffs really get cooking here in the top 4. Number 4 in the country, 2 metrics here for this team. Georgia.
The Dogs.
Number 4 in the country.
I like it.
People might be saying that's crazy, but I'm unbiased with
Hey,
my
they
list.
did show me something. They showed me something I haven't seen from them against Kentucky.
All of the, we're in SEC country here, and I just have to tell you, you guys are all homers, a little bit biased down here, and I'm here to give you the objective analysis, and here's why. They lead the country in this metric, CSA, CTAH. Cupcake schedule against crappy teams at home. Show me a good team. They just beat Kentucky at home. That's the best team they played at home.
Mm-hmm.
And Kentucky's not that good either. They beat the crap out of Florida at home. Florida stinks.
Especially on the road. Florida, can't win a road
And
game.
Kentucky's no good on the road either.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky has won 2 games against teams that are 5-3 or better in the last 10 years.
Wow.
In the SEC in league play.
Wow.
How about that stat this morning?
How about that?
And so I can't give Georgia anything.
No.
How about this? Georgia also leads the country in this metric. WBTF BTIT PT would be the 5th best team in the Pac-12.
I mean, you might be onto something.
I'm just telling you right now.
Might be onto
Go
something.
play on the West Coast. You're going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear anything about Georgia or how the SEC or that's. Please.
Just means more.
What a joke. A joke, Georgia, please. Number 3, the Oregon Ducks.
Quack, quack, quack.
Quack, quack, quack. They lead the country in one important metric. They're the most bodacious. There is nobody
If
more...
I see one more bodacious ad.
There's nobody in the country more bodacious than Oregon. Point blank, period. However, they also...
Certainly more bodacious than Auburn, who might be the second most bodacious team in the country.
They used to be, at least.
Used to be.
They also lead the country in this important metric. This is a good one right here. UTITBCITCBALBTSCAW.
I was going to take a stab at it, but I don't want to anymore.
Undefeated team in the best conference in the country, but a little better than USC and Washington.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, I was about to say that you didn't have any Pac-12 teams ahead of Georgia, and you were calling it the best conference.
There is.
Well, I was going to say that before I heard Oregon, so now...
And so I think those metrics all align. You'll see that the Pac-12 metrics all kind of, one after another right there. They're all in alignment there. So it just goes to show it's the best conference in the country.
Yeah.
All right, we're at the top 2 here.
Top 2,
Top
T2.
2 teams that looked out. Number 2. The Ohio State Buckeyes.
Huh. Okay.
Number 2 in the country. Why, huh?
No, please, go ahead.
Ohio State
kind of needed a big third and fourth quarter to beat to win last week.
Against who?
Against Rutgers. No, Maryland.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Undefeated Maryland,
Please.
led by
That team's a
Talia
joke.
Tungavailoa, whose brother runs the best offense in the National Football
Oh, he's not his
League
brother,
right now.
though.
He's got the same genes. I mean, how dare you? See, this is why, Bryant, I'm just telling you right now, this is why I told people at the beginning to not listen to your college football
Maryland
analysis
joke.
and listen to mine instead, because you are way off base. You watched that game?
I sure did. I watched every second of it.
Clearly not. Had you watched another Maryland game all year?
Yeah, I have. They played
believe
Charlotte. They played Charlotte earlier this year, and I watched it.
And what happened in that game?
Charlotte was up 14-0 to start the game.
And then what happened?
It was like 20. It was like 30-20 the final score. Or something
Beat
like
the
that.
crap out of them.
Didn't cover though. Didn't cover. Hey, Maryland, cover a game. You know what? I'm curious.
They covered yesterday.
They didn't. They didn't. They lost by 20. The line was 17.5.
No, it was
yes,
not.
it was. I promise you it was. Oh, I have problems with this list now. I'm about to look it up.
Brian, it was 20.5.
No, it wasn't.
It absolutely
No, it wasn't, because I almost bet it before the game. It was 17.5.
Okay, this is why you're a terrible sports bettor.
Oh,
because
my
you
God.
bet games 5 minutes before they go off.
But you go on the closing line when you're talking about if they covered or not.
That means the line moved 3 points in favor of the team that
I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna look this up.
If I'm telling you that I took it on Friday at 20.5 and you looked 2 minutes before the game started 17.5, that means everybody is betting the team that I told you to just bet on. So you cannot sit here and tell me they didn't cover.
Ohio State was missing their starting running back.
So if you're trying to take that late line movement and say that, they didn't cover the spread, you got a terrible price on the game. It just makes you look like a fool.
Ohio State covered, though.
Ridiculous.
I mean, I took them. I took Ohio State. How about that?
If you took a stupid line,
How about
then
that?
you got line value there. That's good betting. Line value.
So I just went from a bad bettor to a good bettor.
Well,
in a span of like 20 seconds.
Yeah, but you didn't know about the line movement. So you got lucky.
Did I?
Very much so.
Maybe I'm just a sleuth.
I disagree. Ohio State, however, leads the country in this statistic. TFLITHOITBATOITBPSAMMNDHOHOTFATHTOFOTF.
Mouthful.
Their fate lies in the hands of Notre Dame, but also their own if they beat Penn State and Michigan. Maybe Notre Dame has one hand on their fate and they have the other hand on their fate. They lead the country in that metric there. Yeah. So we'll have to see more from Ohio State. They got some opportunities to do so. Notre Dame, though, not doing them any favors, losing to Louisville.
That's the truth. I thought Notre Dame was going to handle Louisville.
And my number one team in the country, according to the JCS.
Even though the number 2 was a joke.
The Michigan Wolverines.
Wow, 2 Big Ten teams top 2.
They lead the country in this stat, FPA.
Wow, a short one.
Fewest points allowed. They also lead the country in this important metric, GTC, BAH, AF, BOT, GOTR, IMJBB, TLB, WHANNO. Got their head coach back and hung a 50 burger on the Gophers on the road. It might just be because Texas lost, but we have a new number 1. Also, they lead the country in fewest points allowed.
Did you see Jim Harbaugh celebrating with his team after an interception, like getting in the defense picture?
I love it.
It's great. He was like in there. He was like, and they snapped a picture. It was great.
No small reason why they're number 1. That's your JCS. Back after this.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
The 4-1 Memphis football team is home Friday, October 13th at 6 o'clock for a huge conference matchup against Tulane for first place in the conference. It's wrestling night. Enjoy the matches on Tiger Lane and meet and greet with the wrestlers inside the stadium. Tickets start at just $20 to watch this big-time conference matchup. Be at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium Friday, October 13th at 6 o'clock. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is your dentist. Do me a favor and feel the front of your teeth. How grimy are they? Ugh. It's time for a Crest Pro Health reality checkup. That grime is the buildup of plaque bacteria that can cause cavities in just months. You need to switch to Crest Pro Health. While most toothpaste stop working in minutes, Crest Pro Health's antibacterial fluoride protects for up to 12 hours to stop cavities before they start. So pick some up on the way home. Smile. Crest has you covered.
Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo Saturday, October 21st, 2023 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications and interviewing candidates on site. Salary starting at $54,611, increasing to $60,713 after probation. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Ready to unlock your home's potential? A huge sale has up to 50% off retail at Everything's Yours Appliances with 2 convenient locations in Mississippi, 7095 Hacks Cross Road, Olive Branch, and 8478 Highway 178 West in Byhalia. Invest in new appliances knowing you got a great deal. Everything's Yours Appliances has no credit financing available with low down payment and delivery. Everything's Yours Appliances has all major appliances and name brands. Hurry to Everything's Yours Appliances, where customers are number one.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Once again, scarfing my face during a break right there.
Eating an apple.
Eating an apple. And I didn't choke to death.
That's good.
Which is a positive.
Apple a day.
Apple a day what?
It keeps the doctors away.
Keeps you awake all day, then.
Vegas Insider, who, if you listen to Afternoon, our friend Bruce Marshall, a part of Vegas Insider. This says that the last time Maryland was a 20-point favorite was on September 30th. Ever since then, 19.5, 19.5, 19.5.
That's probably going by what you said, though, where it closes at.
18, 17. No, this is movement from, I'm looking at October 7th, October 3rd, October 2nd.
Well, I'm telling you right now.
October 1st.
On Friday, I have it in my notes right here. We talked about Maryland being a 20-point favorite. Furthermore, I have it in my Caesars Sportsbook. I took Maryland as a 20.5-point favorite at minus 110. Which shows you that he's clearly not using the Caesar Sportsbook app.
Caesar Sportsbook. They don't even have. Yes, they do. Tuesday, October 3rd. Maryland was a 20-point favorite. So Tuesday is when you were looking at this.
No, I took it on Friday. I literally took the game on Friday.
It says Friday. It's 19.
I took it.
That's tomato. Hey, if you got to win, you got to win. I think Ohio. I think Maryland. No, I like Ohio State.
But Brian,
I think Maryland's a joke.
Brian,
Maryland is a joke.
Brian, you're looking up information after the fact to try and defend something you said when you and I both know that you didn't look at the odds for the game until a minute before it started.
You know what? That is very disrespectful.
Is it
that
true?
Accusatory of me and how I gamble on a Saturday morning.
Is it true or not?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I needed. It's just, don't try. You can try and fool the listeners all you want, but I know your behavior and what you do going in there every day for you. It's like, oh man, this game starts in a minute and a half. I forgot to bet it. Literally every day.
It happens. Especially during baseball season. It happens a lot. It gets me.
Yeah, that's really what I was referencing was baseball plays there. All right, I have a fun game for us to play, Bryant.
Okay.
It's not really a game at all, actually.
I'm doing math over here.
It's fine. I'll filibuster, but you have to listen.
I'm listening.
It's a fun game. So it's October. It's October 9th to be exact. And I think October is a great month to watch films, especially Halloween-themed movies. And I guess to you, it's a little bit ambiguous as to what would be a Halloween movie. Are all horror movies Halloween movies? I think maybe science fiction movies can be Halloween movies. But nonetheless, I thought it would be a fun exercise if we did like a Halloween movie watch-along. And I would encourage anybody listening to join in with us here. So kind of the way this is going to work is like on each day, I want to bring a movie to the table. I'm going to give a little preview of it, give a little synopsis, say what the critics say about it. We'll go home that night, we'll watch it, and we'll come back the next day. And maybe this segment, or maybe like the 2 last segments of each hour, we'll talk about the movie we watched and then preview the one for the next day. What do you think, Bryant? You in on this?
I'm in. I'm game.
I'm game. I'm gambling again.
That's right.
Well, this one here, Bryant, is the first one I want us to watch here. Is one of my favorite Halloween movies, one of the best Halloween movies, and it's on TV all the time this time of year. It's called Beetlejuice. Have you ever seen Beetlejuice?
I have not.
It came out in 1988. It's a Tim Burton film. You know Tim Burton, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
He did the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when you and I were kids. He was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He directed that. Nightmare Before Christmas, if you've never seen that? You never seen that? He's done a ton of movies. A lot of animated stuff. Not animated. What am I trying to say? Stop motion stuff he does. But he has live action too. This is a live action movie with some stop motion effects in it as well. So Tim Burton's in it. Stars Michael Keaton. Winona Ryder is in it. Gina Davis. Alec Baldwin. Catherine O'Hara, who is in Schitt's Creek. That's the last name. I did not curse on the radio. Everybody calm down. And then Jeffrey Jones, who is the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You've seen Ferris Bueller, right?
In parts.
Okay. Well, he's the principal in Ferris Bueller. So it's a star-studded cast here. Here's the synopsis. After Barbara, Gina Davis, and Adam, Alec Baldwin, die in a car accident, they find themselves stuck, haunting their country residence, unable to leave the house. When the unbearable Dietzes, played by Catherine O'Hara and Jeffrey Jones, and their teenage daughter Lydia, played by Winona Ryder, buy the home. The Maitlands attempt to scare them away without success. Their efforts attract Beetlejuice, played by Michael Keaton, a rambunctious spirit whose help quickly becomes dangerous for the Maitlands and innocent Lydia. It got an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, has a 90% audience score. How much time do I have? 40 seconds. I'm just going to read a couple of these reviews here. Thought a lot of Burton's movies didn't connect enough of them. This one is a comedy classic. Beetlejuice is a farce and blessedly lunatic. Outlandish. Beetlejuice is exuberantly batty, so outrageous and zany. It's one of my favorite movies. You can watch it available on HBO Max. I guess it's just called Max now, but it's on TV so much you can find it on demand. I encourage everybody to watch Beetlejuice tonight, and me and Brian are going to come back and talk about it a little bit tomorrow. That's all I got.
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
Talk to y'all tomorrow.